This lesson is on solving one-step equations, and specifically these equations only involve addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do another video for multiplication and division, but this one starts with just addition and subtraction. So if you're looking for one that has multiplication and division, look for my other video. So step one is to locate the variable. Sometimes the variable will be on the left side of the equal sign, and sometimes the variable will be on the right side of the equal sign. Whichever side of the equal sign the variable's on, that's where you need to be focused. So if it's on the left, focus on the left. If it's on the right, focus on the right. Step number two is to get the variable by itself, or in other words, to get it alone. The way we do this is by using opposite operations. So if we see addition, we're going to do subtraction. If we see subtraction, we're going to do addition. So we're going to do the opposite of what we see. So we're going to get the variable by itself, which is why we need to be looking at the correct side of the equal sign. We're going to do that using opposite operations. For my students, they have to show their work the way that I teach this, because most of these problems you could do in your head without too much trouble. But when it gets into more complicated equations with multiple steps, you're not going to be able to do them in your head. And I'm teaching you the basis for how to do those. So you really don't want to shortcut this. You want to learn a technique of how to solve equations and learn it step by step so that when you get to more complicated equations, those won't be so difficult for you. So let's look at some examples. So the first thing you notice is I've split the screen into a work side and a check side. The reason being is because you can check your answers when you're solving equations, and that's what we're going to do on the check side. So let's look on the work side here. The purpose of this is to find out what's the value of x. So x represents some number. So there's some number that when I do -7 to it, take away 7, I end up with -12. Now, again, you may be able to figure that out in your head. If not, you still should learn how to show your work the proper way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line down the equal sign. The reason I'm doing this is because whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I need to repeat that on the other side. That way I'm not changing the value of this. If I do something just to one side, it'll give you the incorrect answer because you're changing the value of the equation. But I can do anything I want to this equation as long as I do the same thing to both sides. So again, the point here is I'm trying to get the x by itself. I want to find out what x is equal to. So what is the number that when I take away 7 from it, I get -12? So the instruction said use opposite operations. Do the opposite of what you see. So what do we see here? We see -7. So what's the opposite of -7? +7. So I'm going to add 7 because -7 plus 7 is 0. And that makes that just go away. And now I have the x by itself. But be careful. Like I said, the reason I put this line here is because whatever I do on this side, I have to do the exact same thing on the other side. So if I add 7 to the left side, I've got to add 7 to the right side. So now over here I have -12 plus 7. -12 plus 7 is -5. So the answer I got was that x is equal to -5. Basically, you're working backwards to get to what the original number was. So some number -7 is equal to -12. We worked backwards to find out that that answer was -5. So then I said you could check this. To check this, we said x is -5. So let's take -5 and plug it in for x. So I'm going to plug -5 in for x. So that's -5 minus 7. And if I found the right answer, then -5 minus 7 should be equal to -12. So -5 minus 7, that's equal to -12. So that means I got the correct answer. So the correct answer is x equals -5. And again, the nice thing with equations is you can plug it in and check it and see if you got the right number. Because again, what we were asking is what number -7 is equal to -12? And we found that it was -5, and then we plugged it in to see if -5 minus 7 was really equal to -12. All right, so let's look at another one. So again, step one, I forgot to mention that, I think, on the last one. The first step is to locate the variable. On the last one, let me go back to this. The variable was on the left side, so that's where I was focused. So I was looking over here. Now the variable's on the right side, and so I'm focused over here. So I want to get this variable by itself. So if I want to get it by itself, that means I need to get rid of this plus 15. So how do I get rid of plus 15? I do the opposite, and I subtract 15. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side also. That's the key. That's the purpose of this line, is to remind me that whatever I do on this side, I have to do the same thing on the other side. So plus 15 minus 15, those are opposites of each other. They cancel each other out and make 0. So now I have the x by itself, and then 12 minus 15 is going to give me my answer. And 12 minus 15 is negative 3. So the value of x is negative 3. Now, in algebra, when we say x is equal to negative 3, we prefer that you spin this around and write it like this. Okay, so instead of saying negative 3 equals x, spin it around and just say x equals negative 3. So what we're saying is that negative 3 plus 15 is equal to 12. So in the check, we're going to plug in negative 3 for x. We're going to add 15 to it. So negative 3 plus 15. And you can use a calculator to check this. Negative 3 plus 15 is positive 12, which is what we wanted it to be equal to. So we know we got the correct answer. Remember, at any point you can stop this, back it up, and watch it again if you're confused by something. All right, let's look at another example. Negative 7 plus x equals 4. So which side of the equation should I be looking at? The left side or the right side? The variable's on the left side, so that's where my eye should be. So this one's a little bit different here. So a lot of times students look at this and they say, okay, I need to get rid of this 7. So the way I'm going to get rid of that 7 is I'm going to subtract it from both sides because there's a plus sign here, and I know that I'm supposed to do the opposite of what I see. Well, here's the problem with that. The plus sign belongs to the x, so you should not be looking at that plus sign. What you should be looking at is this negative sign in front of the 7. If you want to get rid of a negative 7, then you need to do the opposite of that symbol and add 7 to both sides. So don't look at this plus sign, that goes with the x. And again, whatever I do on the left side, I have to do the same thing on the right side. So negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Now I have the x by itself, and 4 plus 7 is 11. So now I'm going to check. I'm going to see, is negative 7 plus 11 equal to 4? If it is, then I know I got the right answer. So let's plug it in and see. So you can take your calculator and do negative 7 plus 11, and hopefully you get 4. And so that tells you got the correct answer. All right, let's look at one more. So again, which side of the equation should I be looking at? I should be looking at the left side because that's where the variable is. I want to get x by itself, so that means I want to get rid of this 9. Now, in deciding how to get rid of this 9, again, don't look at this plus sign here. That belongs to the x. What you want to look at is the fact that this is a positive 9. We don't write the positive symbol in front of a positive number because we just assume that it's positive if there's not a negative sign there. But if we were going to put a symbol there, it'd be this symbol. And so what's the opposite of that symbol? It's that symbol. So we're going to do 9 minus 9. Again, don't forget, whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So 9 minus 9 is 0. That gets me my x all alone. Negative 12 minus 9 is negative 21. So let's check it. 9 plus negative 21 equal to negative 12. So put it in your calculator and find out. These have different signs, so you'd subtract them. The difference between 9 and 21 is 12. The bigger number is negative, so it is negative 12. So that tells me that I got the right answer. So the correct answer to this equation is that x equals negative 21. All right, so I hope that you found this useful and helpful. And if you didn't catch something, just back it up and watch it again. So if this was helpful to you, please give it a like and a subscribe. And until next time.